Welcome back to the Crispy Donut community. My name is Samuel, and today is another episode of Meet Your Maker. This time, we have my good friend Ben North from Nothing But Knives. Nothing But Knives is one of the largest knife websites. It's run by Ben North and his brother, Andrew North. They also have a YouTube channel that I am a part of their podcast over there on that channel, so you can go check that out. That's part of the reason we're doing this week, to kind of promote that. So you can find all that at the Nothing But Knives YouTube channel. But right now, let's get into the interview with Ben North. It's always a good idea to drink lemonade while you're doing an interview so your mouth will pucker up and dry out.
Right, perfect.
So here he is, my friend Ben North. How are you, sir?
Good, man. How's it going?
Good. So as I said in the intro there, Ben, he runs the Nothing But Knives, both website and YouTube channel with his brother Andrew. So Ben, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about what Nothing But Knives is and stuff like that.
So website, we started... technically, I think it started in like 2017, but we didn't really start pushing it till COVID, like really spend it. It wasn't like a full-time gig till COVID. My brother was a commercial copywriter and I was a commercial photographer, and we just kind of wanted to do a project together. And we always were both into knives, and that was a good excuse to research knives and take photos of knives and review knives and all, which is all stuff we enjoyed doing. So we jumped into it, and it was just sort of a side project until COVID hit, and then it sort of went nuts. And we mostly quit our regular jobs. We do still occasionally do other, side gigs, but we mostly quit our day jobs and just jumped into Nothing But Knives.
Well, that's great. That's something that I hear echoed a lot from creators, is that like not up until COVID did it really take off. As hard as COVID is, and as much as I'm sure most of, if not all of us, hated it, at least it was a good springboard for a lot of people's careers. But well, that's cool. So the website, and not only that, a highly successful YouTube channel that is really impressive, boasting a whopping almost 10,000 subscribers, just right under it, right?
Yeah, I think we're at 9,900, and I think we've done 20 videos.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's almost like accidental success. I know you meant to do it, but if you go and look at it, you're like, wow, this is crazy. So it's really impressive.
Neglected for long periods of time, and we're trying to get more consistent. I think we're in a position to be more consistent right now.
And speaking of the YouTube channel, recently we recorded the, technically second episode, but the first episode with me in it of the Nothing But Knives podcast. So don't leave this video, but after this video, find a link in the description, or I'll even put it up here. Where's it going to be? Up there, way up there in that corner, to the Nothing But Knives podcast that we shot. It was really fun. And my dog Buddy made a guest appearance. So go check that out. And but after this,
you'll be in the next one too, because we're reading our hate mail. I got to get you an edit button. That'll
be really fun. I'm excited for that.
We have a lot of hate mail. People are so emotional about knives. Holy cow,
yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
Also,
quite a few like attacking the way we look as well, which is those are my favorite. Those are like,
trust me, we know a thing or two about controversy.
Oh yeah,
look at
I guess
Sprinkles. Not only Sprinkles, but Sprinkles own a CJRB nonetheless. ARRPM 9 and Sprinkles were just all kinds of.
Yeah,
what's the word? Controversial.
Level of controversy. Yeah, that whole thing with that steal for CJRB, that was a really good introduction to the knife industry on why PR agencies are important. PR agencies, I've worked with them my whole life, and something the knife industry does not use enough, and they are really important. And CJRB could tell you that now, because.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of room for disconnect between, and I work with at least one Chinese company, and there's a lot of wiggle room for disconnect, for misinformation, accidental or purposeful, between, there's a 12-hour time difference, there's a language barrier, there's all these different things. So I think it was you and I talking about this the other day, that we don't necessarily think they did it intentionally. It just, it's kind of just a mess up that really, someone said that they had nothing to gain from from, misleading people, which,
Right.
is a very good point. But it was just one of those things where I think a language barrier and stuff like that just kind of got in the way,
Yeah.
possibly ignorance as
I,
well.
I still like that steel. It's still
Right.
one of my favorite outdoor steels. It's easy to sharpen. It doesn't hold an edge like, a super steel, but
Hmm.
it does all right. And so I still don't hesitate to pick up knives with that steel.
Yeah, it's great steel. They just mislabeled from the
Right.
sounds of it. Okay, so this conversation might end up being like different from most other nothing but knives, or not nothing but knives. Meet your makers, because Ben and I, we talk all the time, so we'll probably end up rambling on into something
And we
else. But
don't
I'll
make
try to stick to the
anything.
questions.
We make nothing.
Yeah, we just call each other, talk for an hour.
Right.
All right, so here's the first question. What got you into knives? We're 7 minutes in, and we're finally getting to the first question. But what got Ben North into knives?
Oh, I mean, same as most people, growing up, spending a lot of time in the mountains, hunting and fishing and camping and hiking and all those things that it's nice to have a knife for. And, I mean, I'm pretty old, so this is 70s. When it was probably 80s. It was probably 80s because I was probably at least 6. So it was probably
Mhm.
80s when I really started, getting into them. But, but as I got older and was working more, I was doing less of that stuff. Although I did for photography, I did spend a lot of time up in the mountains. But as I started doing more and more outdoor photography, like outdoor lifestyle photography, I found
Mhm.
myself using knives again a lot more. And I started carrying a Cold Steel Voyager XL in my camera
Gracious.
bag. Yeah. And so I use that for everything on all kinds of shoots. And so, and my brother has just always been into knives. I mean, he's much more of the steel aficionado than I am. He's more of the technician. And so we just started talking about knives a lot, and reading Knife News and Blade Magazine and the other websites. And there were more knife blogs back then. It's the economics make it difficult these days. So there was a lot more to read, and we're like, well, let's start our own because there's so many knives out there. There's no way that everyone could cover them all. And so we did, and we just started doing it for fun and sort of a long term. Hopefully someday this will turn into something. It just turned into something a little faster than we thought.
I guess that's typically a good thing anyways, unless it's like a STD or something. So
yeah.
sorry, I don't even know why I said that. Should have let that one go through the filter. So do you remember what that first knife you had was? The first knife, like you remember being out in the woods with?
It was an old timer. It was an old timer. It was a lockback. I don't remember the name, but it was an old timer lockback with a sheath. No, the first one was a Schrade. Then the next, and they were the same company back then. I think they still are, but I mean, they're owned by Taylor Tools. This is back when they were their own company. But I think the first one was a Schrade. Then I got an old timer slip joint. So I had a Schrade lockback. Gotcha. I forget what it was. It was their version of the Buck 110, basically.
Yeah.
And I did get a Buck 110 a little bit later on, too. And those are what everybody had,
Yeah, and I was going to say the Walmart knives, but now Civivi's a Walmart knife, so the old school Walmart knives, right?
And there were except there was no Walmart then, at least not in our neck of the woods. Walmart did not exist.
Yeah.
It did somewhere, just not where we live. So they were not Walmart knives then.
They were the hardware store knives, right?
Yeah.
So give us a little bit of your background. So I'll say this for you. I know Ben's a bit of a different beast when it comes to the knife world. A lot of these guys are YouTube guys who kind of got into it because they like doing video. My buddy Chad Landman, he did a little bit of video and photography in school and in the Marines and stuff like that. But Ben is overqualified for this. Tell us a bit about your past in like making commercials and stuff like that.
Rarely feel overqualified for anything, but my background is mostly commercial photography, and a large part of that was with a small ad agency in Southern California, and so that made up a large part of my career, just doing commercial photography and then advertising. I was a partner in the agency, so you pretty much did everything, to some degree, copywriting, SEO, like just everything, and even a little graphic design. But mainly, I ran like the production side of things, so the photo video side of things for our clients. And then after that, I just went out on my own for commercial photography. Had a lot of the same clients, and then I did that right up until COVID. And in COVID, I had a lot of travel tourism clients that just kind of disappeared for a little bit, just like 2008 downturn when everyone kind of went away for a minute. COVID was a little bit like that. But at the same time, the knife, everyone's stuck at home. I mean, everyone knows the story. Everyone's online. So the knife site took off. And so Andrew and I just started just writing and taking pictures as much as we possibly could, and, spending as much time in the mountains as we could. And, we happened to live in a town that did not shut down. Restaurants were still open, stores, everything was open and free. So it was we kind of missed the whole COVID thing, other than just all the traffic coming to our site.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's sounds like you got the best of it then.
Yeah.
Now, so that's kind of like what your background is in videography, or more photography, it sounds like. So you already told us kind of the backstory of Nothing But Knives. So how is the website doing? What's the plans for the future of the website? And are you looking at more website focus in the future? Or are you looking at more YouTube focus in the future?
It's got to be split. I mean, the problem with the website, and anyone that runs a website will tell you this, is that Google owns 90% of search. Mm-hmm. And you're sort of at their mercy to a certain degree, getting traffic from Google. And that is not a dependable. It used to be pretty dependable. You'd see slight fluctuations, but now it's just not dependable. You never know from month to month what they're going to do to you, or if they're going to decide to penalize you for some unseen thing. So we've been pushing video we're going to be going pretty big in a video for sure. I mean, the website will continue. We're going to keep writing articles, but we're going to be jumping into video on as many different platforms as possible, just to diversify. But the website will continue. We're hoping to do more how-to guides and that sort of thing, and fewer reviews moving forward.
That's cool. It's good. It's fun. Like we've talked about the podcast time and time again. You've only got a few high quality podcast interview things, whatever you want to talk about. This is like borderline high quality. My lighting isn't great. My microphone isn't great. Actually, typically my microphone is the worst of the two, whoever I'm interviewing. But like this is on the edge of high quality. But like what they're doing over at Nothing But Knives, like you go watch their videos and they're up there, if not surpassing the people like Dutch Bushcraft Knives, Taylor Martin, Everyday Minimalist. These guys that are doing very cinematic stuff, they're right up there with them, but with a heavy outdoor element. So it's really cool to see you guys doing that. And that's why if anybody's watching this video and haven't heard of these guys, go check their channel, because it's like, it's very different, But.
Yeah, we've been trying to really concentrate on storytelling. I even to the point where like I try to limit myself to not think too much about camera angles or lighting, and to just go cheap and budget from my standpoint, and just really concentrate on sort of a storytelling humor point of view. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to start upping the quality and the gear as we move along. But we've really just been trying to concentrate on storytelling when we have time to do these videos, and we'll keep kind of going down that road.
Tell you the best way to describe it. It's like if Advanced Knife Bro and Dutch Bushcraft Knives had a baby. Right. Maybe that's what it is. It's got the high quality shots of Dutch Bushcraft and Advanced Knife Bro, with a little bit of the dry humor that Advanced Knife Bro has, but the beating of the knives like Dutch Bushcraft. You guys don't shoot them yet, but maybe in the future.
Advanced Knife Bro, I believe, went to film school, so he's got a film background as well. And then also he's writing for Knife Informer too. So there's a lot of similarities. I have not talked or met him yet, but hopefully on one of these blade shows.
I don't even know I don't know if he goes to things like that,
I
but
don't
we
know.
might have
Yeah.
to try to get hooked up with him. That would be really cool.
I know he just he designed his own knife just a little while ago, and of course it was sold out before we could pick one up. But hopefully soon.
So my next question is, what sparked your collaboration with the EDC or with the CDC, the Crispy Donut community? How did you get hooked up with them? And I guess this is more the question is, how did you get to know me? Because it's not much of a
Joe
relationship
Flowers.
with Crispy Donut. Yeah.
Joe Flowers.
That's a funny story.
Drinking with Joe Flowers, which is like, there should be we need a country song. Maybe my brother will write one. Like well, we were drinking with Joe Flowers. You were hanging out.
No, we were smoking cigars outside.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe before you guys were drinking. No, that was a funny story. Quite a weird. It's like a comic. It's like if somebody was writing a comic book and had like the crazy team up. That's what it would be. It's like me, you, Andrew, Joe Flowers, and Seth from Knife Center, all just standing around outside. It's like it was kindly crazy, but it's funny how that sparked up into all of this, isn't it? Once you get to thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean that's why you go to those things, to light fires with Joe and drink and meet people.
At light fires indoors, that is.
Right.
I have lit. Well, actually, when I met Joe, I met him at Smoky Mountain Knife Works Fall Festival, which is what like kind of sparked me going to all these events because he invited me to Georgia Bushcraft. But we were standing there like in the middle of Smoky Mountain Knife Works, we're lighting fires. And back then I didn't really think anything of it. But now that I know things a little more, know a little bit more about like, how businesses work and stuff, I'm like, there was definitely a conversation between Greg or maybe TC and Joe. And it was like, you want to do what? You want to set fires in the store? I guess, but and then just some kind of like weird rule that he had to follow. Just it's funny thinking about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, with a guy like TC and Smoky Mountain, it's probably good, but and probably not the first time it happened, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I would guess not.
Like other places that it happens at, but
as long as they're on purpose.
The story may be different.
Yeah, Joe Flowers is he's quite a fellow, but he brings a lot of people together, doesn't he?
He does. He just never quits going. He just never quits. I wish he'd start YouTube up again. It's been like 9 years. It'd be nice if he'd start his YouTube channel again. And the whole world nags him about it, and I'm not going to quit though.
How is that not? I haven't had that thought yet. I need to get Joe Flowers on here. What really, in all seriousness, probably do that in person, but that would be really fun. But this isn't about him. This is about you. So that's how we met. Funny story. Smoking cigars outside of Blade Show with like a weird conglomeration of the knife world. But it was really cool, and it sparked up to this that Andrew and Ben both walked up to me the next day, got to talking, and they buttered me up a little bit and wanted to work together in the future. So that's where we are now.
Were you at the Vosti booth that year?
Not working with them. I think that's where I was standing when you guys found me, because that was kind of what sparked mine and Vosti's relationship, as I was kind of helping them run knives to creators and stuff like that. So I wasn't working with them, but I was working with them.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, and actually, so that means that this whole podcast thing has been over a year in the making. Because you guys talked to me last year in Atlanta, and then just after the Atlanta Blade Show this year, a month or two after, we finally shot the first podcast together.
Crazy how long that took. It's absolutely nuts. It's just, man, running the website and doing video are two very different things. And splitting the time up for that is crazy.
You want to get into how Google absolutely just wrecked you guys?
Oh, I mean, yeah, we're not alone. There were hundreds of thousands, if not over 1 million websites that got wrecked. Google's been running updates for the last year, and the outdoor and specifically the knife industry was mostly left alone in all of that. Like it just unaffected for the most part. I mean, they were a little bit, even if they didn't know it. Like Knife Informer did all right, but where we were different was we have a lot of kitchen knife content, and that is what got us in trouble. And it was basically Google made a mistake. We got hit because of the kitchen knife content. We got hit with what's called a malicious or negative SEO campaign. And so That doesn't happen in the knife world because everyone's really cool. It's really common in other parts of the internet, but not the knife internet. But because we were competing with big kitchen brands, like really big kitchen publications, and because we were showing up on Google above the fold and above a lot of the big names, they hit us with a negative SEO campaign. And I didn't expect it, in this industry. I wasn't even looking for it. And it just really, fortunately, hit us after Christmas, but it hit us in January and took about 70% of our traffic until this August, when Google realized that that's what was going on, when they did another update. And they seem to have got it dialed now. But yeah, that was a nightmare. Yeah, 70% hit. We ranked really high on Google before. But yeah, so that was wild. That was a fun time.
Yeah, I bet so. And also, we've gone through our own troubles here the past few months here at Crispy Donut Community with the what should we call it? Sprinklegate? I like Sprinklegate.
I like Sprinklegate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to think if there's an alliteration there, but I can't come up with one. But yeah, Sprinklegate sounds almost sounds like a fun one. But
Yeah, it sounds like a party, but it's a party you don't want to be invited to. All kinds of legal things. But
right.
Ben has been a help with that. Kind of hopped on the phone with us when it first started, and I say us, Ben, and myself, and Drew and Luke, and chatted with us a little bit, helped us, and eased Drew and Luke's minds both a little bit, but we really appreciate that. So this sounds like there's been a lot of trouble in paradise in the knife world here lately, but things are still running pretty good.
There's a lot of trouble in paradise in the knife world in every industry, and the COVID era is over. And the easy, I won't say easy money, but easy sales are over.
Yeah.
And there's going to be, I'm already seeing a little bit. The average consumer probably is not, but there's shakeups coming. And just because things are getting more competitive, and I think you're going to start seeing, some of the, hopefully not, but some of the companies may be going by the wayside or getting bought up, and you're going to see brands combining, and it's going to be interesting the next couple of years as things slow down.
Yeah, there's a lot of money that I didn't realize there was bouncing around on different websites, different things like that in the knife industry. There's a lot of, or maybe it's less, I don't know, than some people think, but we're talking millions, tens of millions, and I would guess in some cases $1 billion bouncing around behind some of these companies, some of these publications, some of these big companies that by name that I won't go any further than that, but it's crazy how, like what you were saying about the kitchen knife thing, you guys were somewhat attacked by another company, right? One of your competitors, and for lack of a better term, they stabbed you in the back. But it's funny how in this industry you'll still get stabbed in the back because there's millions of dollars bouncing around in some of this stuff. Especially the kitchen knife world, from what you've told me, there is so much money moving around in that space.
Yeah, it's not the kitchen knife world so much as just the kitchen world is a lot more cutthroat because there's a lot more money. The biggest knife companies do 60 to 80 million a year, which in the grand scheme of things is not a massive, that's not
comparative.
Anywhere near Fortune 500. But yeah, the kitchen knife stuff got us in trouble because it's part of the kitchen industry, which is huge. And so when you start from a search engine optimization standpoint, which is basically just the art of ranking high on search engines, that gets you in trouble when you start beating major publications. And we were beating, CNN, and we were beating New York Times and all these big review sites. We were beating, and I don't know who it was that did it. But we
just blame CNN.
Yeah, no, it was not. It was not CNN. It was somebody else. But but we weren't alone. This happened to hundreds of thousands of sites, But the knife industry was mostly left alone in this, and we would have been if we would have stuck to outdoor knives. But we like kitchen knives too. And speaking of which, did you see what CRKT came out with today?
No, I did not.
Ken Onion designed 3 new kitchen knives for them. Damascus steel.
No way.
Yeah, they are sweet, but they are not cheap. But I wish I had one to hold up, but I probably won't. And they probably won't send me any of those because they're like I think the chef knife is like $1,200 or something.
That's crazy. I'm trying to look it up now so I can screen share it.
It's they don't have it on their homepage, but it's on new. We've got a link on our news section as well.
Oh yeah, check them out.
Dude,
My
they are.
goodness.
I want them so badly, but I didn't even get a heads up from them on this, so which is rare. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if this is a limited run or something. But,
Those are beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
There's better pictures of the Damascus pattern. Yeah, there we go. Ken Onion.
That's
He
insane.
must have had a blast. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Click on the chef knife over there. That I really like the look of that belly, and that
I don't like the look of that right there.
Oh, it is 15. Yeah. But
Are they handmade by him?
That I don't know. I believe they're made in Italy. I mean, not that you can't take a plane from Hawaii to Italy, but those I'm pretty stoked. I hope they have some at the Blade Show or something because I really want to play with them.
Yeah, that's very cool. I mean, that's punching above my price range. That's really cool.
The other two, the utility knife was like 600, I think, and then the paring knife was, I don't know, 2 or 3. But
that does go to show you, like, they're starting to punch out a little bit. Like CRKT did kind of dip for a little while, not completely, not like Gerber or some of these other brands, but it does start to show that like they're, I don't want to say competitive. It's like a whole different story, but like, to have Ken Onion's practically custom designs or whatever like that says something. Like that's
they're
pretty cool for a company.
Risks. What I like about them the last couple of years is they just take big swings over and over again. And they're all over the board. So if you don't like this, you'll like that. And they really jumped into the American made thing with both feet.
Mm-hmm.
And they're really, I think they're pretty hands off with Ken Onion, and he kind of does which is how you need to be with somebody like him. And they've just really been turning out some interesting stuff.
Something Ben and I have harped on time and time again with each other is the downfall of some of these companies. And CRKT, again, if they didn't have as much of a downfall, they did have a dip, I would say. But the rise back that they've had is fantastic. But the Bucks, the Gerbers, some of these companies, again, Buck, not as far as Gerber. I think we just, for some reason, Ben and I like to bully Gerber. But
I mean, a lot of
because they deserve it.
Folks, a lot of the knife media guys do. And the reason for that is because, like, Gerber is making it a ton of money, but they're making it off people that are not knife nerds. Like they don't really care about the knife nerd part of things. They don't go to Blade Show. They don't go to SHOT Show. They go to Outdoor Retailer. The last time I really talked to anyone from Gerber was at Outdoor Retailer. And that's just kind of, I just think their customer is sort of the guy that buys one once a year for camping trip or hunting trip or something.
Yeah.
And is not reading about steel and is not reading about the different kind, micarta versus G10 versus Richlite, they're not guys that are going to blogs like ours or going to, YouTube videos like yours. They're reaching out to the casual fan,
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that, but
it's working for them. So from a business standpoint,
from a business standpoint,
but as a knife nerd, we'd like to see more.
Right. Yeah. But Gerber used to be like you hear stories from people like Wrangler Star Cody that on his channel where he talks about like which is Cody, big goofball as far as like I've never talked to him, but you ever watch his stuff? He is like, I love his videos and the stuff he does. It's hilarious and it's like to the extent where you can't tell if he's trolling or not with some of the stuff he says. So it's kind of fun, like crazy tinfoil hat stuff. But anyways, he talks about how when he was younger, he used to go out with his grandpa. And Gerber knives were the knives that they would get and take out hunting and skinning with them to skin the deer and stuff, or the elk or whatever they took. And that was really cool. Like that heritage to then take it and flush it down the toilet to make an extra buck. Now, it's not like Gerber is making these knives in 8CR13 MOV, micarta scales, charging $25 to $30 for them. No, they're making them in something even worse than 8CR, putting micarta scales on them with the worst sheath you've ever seen, and then selling it for $55.
Cases, yeah. I mean,
it's
probably the most knife nerd friendly knives they do are, they've got the They got the Gerber Principal, the small bushcraft, which is a decent little knife. It's only it's 420 HC, and then they've got the bigger bushcraft knife that they do. And that's an S35VN, and I'm blanking on that.
I can see it in my mind.
Right, it's like the Principal but bigger. Man.
Yeah, I can't think of it right now. All that comes to mind is the 06 Auto, which is like another one that was like a good knife back in the day.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. And yeah, I mean, they've got the strong arm. No, the Gator is they've got the strong arm too.
Strong arm, that's what it is.
And the new version of the strong arm is pretty good, but it doesn't, like compared to knife nerd friendly knives, the strong arm just doesn't hold up like it used to.
Now, this is a bad example of like a tough EDC knife, but like anything that Gerber sells this size, this Kaiser Smolt will beat it 100%.
Oh, I didn't know you guys did a crispy donut community.
It's coming.
Holy cow, that's one of the most popular knives on our site this year by far.
Yeah, the Smolt's pretty sick. 3V, G10, really cool G10. I think theirs has inlays. Ours is layered with that. And that milling, by the way, for anybody who's seen it, I don't know that I've talked about it too much in my reviews and stuff. Focus on the knife, not me. Thank you. That milling is actually like super grippy. Yeah, so that's really helpful.
I really like that knife, and you don't even know you're wearing it. Like when I go hiking with it, and you can horizontal carry it, vertical carry it. You can put it on a backpack, really easy. Yeah, they sent that to us, and we dropped it in our horizontal carry blog right away. We're pretty selective about the knives we put in there, but that one, it was just like, oh, that's going there.
Yeah, the Smolt's really cool. But yeah, I mean, but the point goes, and I know you'll argue Chinese companies and American companies, people in the comments, but both of them are made in the same place. A lot of those Gerbers, China. These, China. Yeah. But there's a difference in quality.
Yeah. Well, and Kaiser plays with steel. They've got they've got a lot more levels of steel than Gerber plays with, which, I mean, Kaiser is always, from the beginning, has been knife nerd friendly. That's sort of the thing. So then
I think they had a little bit of controversy with their 3V being a little soft at one point. I would imagine they fixed it.
Yeah, I'm sure they did. They listen really well. They ask questions and they listen really well to their customers.
This month's drop is like obviously them paying attention to what sells, like all Militol stuff. It's like they definitely are paying attention. So, all right. So we talked about what sparked your collaboration with the CDC, or really me, or, hanging out with us, getting to know us, so on and so forth. So what is your ideas for the future of Nothing But Knives? Like, I know we talked about that a little bit, but what exactly are you planning on doing with the Nothing But Knives channel specifically in the future?
I mean, a lot more content, a lot more interviews, a lot more podcasts, and then a little bit more variety in the type of outdoor videos that we're doing. So everything we've done has been sort of review, like listicle style review, where we talk about, best survival knives or something like that. But we're going to do a lot more guides. Like, we're doing a guide on how to photograph knives, and then we'll do guides like on blade grinds or stuff like that. What to use for this type of blade grind, or that, what like a Scandi grind is good for versus a flat grind. That sort of a thing. We're going to be doing a lot more of that kind of stuff, and we'll have experts on when we need them, and which is most of the time.
That's really cool.
Yeah, we'll be doing a lot more interviews with people from the knife companies. So I'll be twisting arms to get them on, to get them on our podcast and stuff. But they'll be down. Actually, I haven't reached out to CRKT. They'll be one of the first ones I reach out to on doing a podcast.
That'll be cool.
But,
yeah. Well, okay. So that sounds like a really cool direction that you're going to take things. So let me ask you this, something I didn't send you in the questions, and we're getting towards the end of this interview now. So I'll ask you this. What is your favorite knife, either currently or that has ever been, that you've ever owned, I should say?
Boy,
and you can break it down in a fixed blade or a folder if you want to.
There's a couple that really come to. I'm still a big fan of the Voyager, the Cold Steel Voyager XL, because I used it for so long. It was Aus 8 steel. Now it's Aus 10, which I am a big fan of Aus 10. So that always kind of has a place in my heart because I use that with that lock. I was, before I even knew what batoning was, on photo shoots, like I'd be up in the snow in the mountains by myself, and then I would build what I called crotch fires, which is where you get one of those little survival, yeah. And there's a reason I called it that. But I would get one of those little survival stoves, you know, just those little square stoves, and I would feed it, and because I would have 2 or 3 cameras running time lapses, you know, and so I'd be cold and I couldn't move around much because I had to watch the cameras, and so I'd light a little fire in those things and just stand over it. So I would take, I had no idea what batoning was back then, but I would take that. I never had a hatchet with me for some reason, and I would like, you know, cut bigger pieces of manzanita into smaller ones or whatever. And, you know, I use that thing for everything. And so that will always sort of have, you know, before I knew what the difference between a bushcraft and a survival knife, I had that Voyager XL. I mean, when it first came out. And I love that lock. Is that the Axis lock? No, that's a Triad
lock.
I love the Triad lock to this day on a folder. I'll give me that Triad lock over anything. And I like back locks. Fixed blade. Where do we have it?
You practically chose a fixed blade for your folder.
Yeah, I know I did. I want to talk about this buck right here that, so this is the GCK, the ground combat knife.
Oh, wow.
I'm not like a big tactical knife guy, but the handle on this thing, and this knife was super popular and was always sold out, but the handle is so much work. The man hours to take this handle to grind it down because of the texture.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It really, I think it was just cost prohibitive. And so they discontinued it. And every once in a while, they'll do a limited run. And when they do, it just is, you know, it's just a great knife with a great sheath. You know, it's a spring steel. So, you know, it gets the job done. But I really like that handle. It's just the handle is so comfortable. The knife is just fun to use and easy to carry and, you know, MOLLE compatible and all that sort of thing. So I do that one always. That one I always really like. And then recently, we talked about this before, but this is that Lobster 5 from Schwartz Knives, man.
I need to pick one of those up. Maybe if I've got the funds at Utah, maybe one of those will be going.
Man,
is that an OD, like almost a green Cerakote to it?
Yeah, it is. And we batoned so much oak and manzanita with this, which chips and even breaks a lot of knives when we do that. We've chopped with this. We started fires with this. Like, we have used and abused this thing, and it just keeps on going. So that is
what blade steel
up there, and that's where things get weird. It's A2, but he messed with the heat treatment. Like, he really R&D'd the heat treatment
that's cool.
Yeah, he got heat treatment at all different levels. I think all the way up to like 65 or 66 or something crazy. And then he would just do really destructive things to the knife until he found what he thought was the perfect medium. And man, he nailed it. So that, and then Reef, anything from Reef, you know, these guys. I don't think
that's a company that I haven't had the pleasure of checking out. Is Reef. I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. If we lived closer, you could just come grab stuff. But 3,000 miles is too much. We'll have you in the barn sometime soon. Oh, that's not it. Let's see. Man, I don't know. We do have a Reef here somewhere, but then we've always been big off-grid fans, you know. Yeah. You guys got me hooked up with off-grid. Or at least turned on to them, because I don't know that I was very privy. Right now, man. This is a chef. Is that like the chef? Yeah. Yeah, the camping chef. I've got to get one of those. That one it's been a lot of fun. The backcountry of theirs, which is it's like a survival hunting knife thing, hybrid. That's the one it's the most. That's the one with the recurve. Site. A little bit of a recurve, yeah. And you guys sent me one of those. Great all-around camping knife. That's a fun. And the new version of it is really good.
Yeah, I think if I had maybe that kitchen knife and that TJ Schwartz, that would be like, just a truck camping wise. Like that would be the
that would do it.
50s.
That would do it.
Yeah,
For
that and the
folders,
hatchet.
I do like this Vosti a lot.
Oh
Thunderbird.
yeah, hold on one second. Oh, I'm with you on that.
Oh, which
I got
one
the
is
pink
that?
aluminum.
What do you got? Oh,
A
man, look at that.
a prototype. I got the
Dude,
I got the
that is
hookups.
pretty.
Ain't
I
it?
like that handle.
Got a blue aluminum one that
What's the steel?
a good friend of the channel, Freeman. So I think they told us initially it was like 10 CR or something, and then we get a text back. They're like, "Oh no, those are M390."
Oh, they are.
So
Okay, same as
yeah, we
this
just
stuff.
got
Man.
we got the prototypes. We were very blessed to be, some of. We're hooked in very well with Vosteed. Actually, will be their representative in Utah this year. But the cool thing about companies flying in from China is they can't take a lot of the knives back with them. So if you're good friends with them, they're like, "Here, take these home with you."
This is true. Yeah.
And then sometimes they'll say ship them to us, and then you forget to ship them to them, and then nothing's ever said, and so now you're left with some really cool knives.
And
now your wife claims it.
You can't sell that yet. Like, I mean, they're not selling them yet.
I don't think they're selling these. I don't know that they ever will.
Okay.
So this might be like a one of one. I don't know.
That's pretty sweet. Yeah, we've got
really cool,
I think 3 Thunderbirds, but I haven't seen. We got like I think we had one of the originals before they were even like for sale.
Like the wire pocket clip ones.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Which is cool to have now. But then obviously the button lock on this one is much improved.
Right.
And it just, all around it is
my favorite version of that knife is the titanium and LMAX. It is gorgeous. Only problem is it has button failure, which is something Vosteed struggled with.
Yeah, and, in the early days, but man, they sure got it dialed.
Yeah, it's pretty slick now. That Trek lock is really cool. But yeah, they've really been knocking it out of the park. But now, Crispy Donut community, we haven't done too much with the actual nothing but knives. Now, myself and Ben are pretty close as far as we talk pretty often, stuff like that. We work on his channel. But as far as Crispy Donut and Nothing But Knives, I think you guys have mentioned us a time or two on your website.
Yeah,
but we need to get you guys some stuff out. Yeah, we need to get you guys. It's a bit of an odd thing because like this, it's like, okay, you want to talk about the CJRB Hectare, then you're just going to talk about the CJRB Hectare. We do collaboration a lot, but also, of course, we have like our own models that we do. This is the CDC Salem titanium and M390 S35VN. Yeah, it's pretty slick. Luke has a really weird. Luke is our designer. Yes, titanium frame lock. So Luke is a really weird taste in design. Like, check his fixed blade out. This is his fixed blade that he designed. Super funky.
Is that for sale?
Super odd. Yeah. I don't know if they're available. They're typically out of stock, but it's really funky. Right. S35VN. They have a really cool version that is black micarta, and you can either get coated or non-coated. Yeah. And then here is the Chicago. This is probably my favorite folder.
That I remember.
Yeah, this one's really cool. And
is that a spear point blade? Bring that blade.
Yes,
back.
It is.
Oh, dude, I like that.
It's really cool.
And that's got a big belly for a spear point too.
It's super cool, man, and it's super long, but it fits. It sits in the pocket really well. The action on this thing is like, whew, guillotine. Let me go grab our other high-end knife. I don't have it in here. Oh, cut the video. And here's probably the one that you would like. This is the Outbreak.
Oh,
it is Magna Cut.
Oh.
And Magna Cut titanium frame lock sprinkles. Yeah, man, it is sick.
I've seen. You did. I remember when you did your video on that one.
Yeah, it is awesome. I love this one, Magna Cut and everything. But yeah, so CDC's got some really cool models. We'll have to see what we can get sent out to you guys.
Those are your guys' like your design.
That's all. Yeah, Luke designed it, and it's really cool. And this is our flashlight.
I remember that too.
Crispy Donut Community Crusade.
That looks cool.
Yeah, this really like collaboration. Yeah, and the really cool thing is, so like the pink and blue thing, I'm pretty cool with. It's not like my favorite colorway ever, but it is pretty cool. Like, I'm not afraid to carry it. I wore, by the way, you'll be proud of me, I wore my Carhartt overalls to work with the CJRB Hectare in the pocket. It's like wearing around these like old man overalls with this pink and blue in my pocket. Like, I'm not worried about the colorway. Here's my wife's little baby banter in that colorway.
That's cute.
But
Is
Northwest Winds.
Crispy Dough, is that CDC?
No, but we need to work with Ben.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. But
speaking of
like
which,
Northwest Winds, one of the companies.
That podcast they're doing is the sort of thing the knife world needs more of. That thing is fun.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But real quick though, like Northwest Winds is going to do a collaboration with us on this flashlight, hopefully. That is going to be a green body
I like that
with a
clip.
tan sleeve.
That clip for a flashlight. That's perfect.
Yeah.
The white.
The company Raylight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's who the OEM for this is.
Okay.
So,
yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, but so if you don't like the pink and blue stuff, our collaborations with different companies like Blade Bench, we have a collaboration with Blade Bench on coming soon, I believe. That's like a pink like a turquoise and black, turquoise and something like that. Just beautiful colorways that we do with other companies. So cool thing is, like, even if you don't like the pink and blue stuff, they are working on the Warrenclyffe Hansons now. Oh, this is our Hanson, by the way. This is our budget design, around the $50 price point.
Oh, that's nice.
Made by QSP. It is a really nice knife. Really cool thumb stud and flipper tab deployment. And swappable scales. We have a bunch of different scale colors for these: black, blue, different stuff like that.
On your website, can you buy the scales separately?
Yes, you can. And they're really cheap too. Don't quote me on this, but I want to say they're under $10 for a set of scales. It's like $6 or something. So something super cheap. And so, yeah, we've got a lot of stuff. We're going to have to get you guys hooked up with some stuff, even if you don't write about it, just for coming on here. We're going to have to have you.
We definitely would. Anything custom, like anything you guys do in-house, any in-house designs. The collaboration stuff we'll cover in the news, but any like, something you guys are pushing, then that something you guys did yourselves, we could definitely cover. Like,
we'll have to push and bringing it just okay. Here we go. Whoa! I didn't even think about it. All three of the companies that I work for, right here at one. We've got Vosteed, Crispy Donut Community, and Nothing But Knives all together. But this is a collaboration we've got coming up with Vosteed. They're Mini Raccoon.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the pre-order's open.
So we have to get that added to our Vosteed Raccoon review, because we try to update that review with everything that's available, and Vosteed makes it tough to keep up with because they never stop updating, which I love as a consumer. As the person who's trying to update the articles, it's a little tough.
Yeah, so we'll definitely we'll get a few things sent out to you. I'll talk to them, and our guy who does that just had a baby. He didn't have the baby; his wife did. But thank you for coming on, Ben. It's been a blast. It's just been another fun conversation with a little bit of where the audience could learn about you a little bit. But you can find Ben. Where can we find you?
Oh, Nothing But Knives. Just type that in anywhere. Any search engine will come up. Awesome. And actually, anyone that's into knives has probably been across this before. Some people have been to the site a lot and didn't realize it until we had a YouTube channel, which is funny. But
yeah, it's funny how that works, isn't it? But also, you can find me on the Nothing But Knives YouTube channel, on the new podcast, the Nothing But Knives podcast, that Ben, myself, and Andrew are going to be doing together. So I'm really excited for that. You can go over there and meet Andrew. He's like Ben, but like dry.
And younger.
Yeah. So we get to team up on Ben and call him old together. So that's really fun too.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I hope I made you proud today, by the way, talking about my overalls. I know you like to wear those overalls.
I've got overall cutoffs now. I should have wore them.
Oh, that's sexy. Yeah. Well, that's a good place to end it right there. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to Ben for sitting down with us. Again, you can find him at Nothing But Knives, either on their website or here on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, all those wonderful things. Have a great day. And remember, stay crispy.
Thanks, man.